Anyone who has a next-gen console, whether that be with Xbox or PlayStation, you'll know it's crucial to have a good TV to go with it. Without a good TV, how are you going to get to bask in the glorious 4K 120 FPS graphics? Simply put, you need one. So let's take a look at the 10 best TVs for both the PS5 and Xbox Series X. The Hisense H8G is the cheapest TV on the list, and make no mistake, in terms of bang for your buck, this TV is one of the best. For just $480, you can get a TV that excels probably more than any other when it comes to anti-glare capabilities. If you intend to use this in a brightly lit room or somewhere where the sun will be shining through, then this TV will do a great job at preventing that annoying glare. Models range from 50 inches and upwards. And of course, it is 4K. The only drawbacks are that it is unfortunately a VA panel, meaning unless you're facing the TV dead on, the color will be washed out. It's also not capable of 120Hz either, so you won't be able to benefit from the next-gen 120 FPS capabilities. But if you're willing to put that aside, then you can get a really fantastic TV with great brightness and superb color accuracy for a lot less than most TVs. This TV is a fantastic mid-ranger type of TV. For the base price of $900, you can get a 4K HDR-enabled TV, ranging from 50 inches to 65 inches. Perhaps the biggest selling point of this TV is the incredibly low input lag. I mean, compared to a monitor, it's not great, but for a TV standard, having a 10 millisecond response time is almost unheard of. That means this TV is probably the best for competitive console gamers, since you get that slight few millisecond advantage over other players. The only drawback is, again, the lack of 120 FPS support, since this TV maxes out at 60 Hz. It also doesn't have any VRR support, which means you may experience a small degree of screen stuttering sometimes. Another super cheap and great value TV is the Vizio M-Series Quantum, which clocks in at $650, ranging from 50 inches to 65 inches. This TV, unlike the previous entry, does have VRR, so screen stuttering won't be an issue at all. Oddly enough, this TV has a slightly faster response time in 4K than it does in 1080p. But either way, the max response time you'll get is around 28 milliseconds. That, of course, pales in comparison to the rapid response time of the last TV, but that was its biggest strength. This TV plays to different strengths. It has a better picture quality with more contrast and deeper blacks. It doesn't get massively bright, but it's still about as good as the previous TV in a different kind of way. And it's over $200 cheaper, which makes it better in overall value, in my opinion. I promise I will move on to some higher-end TVs soon, but for now, here is yet another budget beast. The TU8000 by Samsung sits at just $550. This TV is virtually the exact same as the Hisense H8G, except it's obviously a lot cheaper and the input lag is 2 milliseconds more, so that's a 12 millisecond input lag, which is still very good compared to other TVs. It also lacks VRR support again, but for this price, there are going to be some compromises. Models range from 43 inches to 65 inches. All are 4K and all have HDR10 support, so rest assured it'll look great with your next-gen console. Even though it does lack 120 FPS support, thankfully this TV makes up for its few drawbacks with incredible color accuracy it has. Everything on this screen is so vibrant, thanks to the Samsung QLED panel that it uses. The picture quality that comes with this TV puts some high-end TVs to shame, honestly. And finally, this TV is certainly not a budget beast, but it is a beast nonetheless. It ranges pretty far because this model sells in 32-inch version and an 85-inch version. It's also the first TV on the list to support 120 FPS gaming, thanks to the 120Hz panel. Although I ought to note that the 49 and 50-inch version doesn't have 120 FPS support for whatever reason, so I'd recommend avoiding those sizes. The response time is pretty decent, because with 4K and HDR enabled, you'll be able to get a 20 millisecond response time. But perhaps the best thing about this, aside from the 120Hz panel, has to be the QLED technology. Samsung screens almost always look incredible, thanks to their signature QLED technology. And this TV is no exception. Colors are just so vibrant and punchy. The brightness is, well, very bright, and the blacks are just so much darker than most other TVs. In terms of color accuracy, there are a few TVs better than the Samsung ones. This is a Sony TV, so it's no surprise that it works flawlessly with a PS5. But that doesn't discount the Xbox Series X, since that too will look great. But functionality-wise, this TV will work a lot more fluidly with a PlayStation, obviously. Of course, it is 4K and HDR-enabled TV, but it also has a staggering response time of 15 milliseconds and is capable of up to 120 Hz. You could very easily play all your games in 4K 120 FPS and also have a competitive advantage in those fast-paced team games. The picture quality also isn't a letdown either, because there are a few TVs more beautiful than this one. The TV is perfectly bright, and colors pop out of the screen. Blacks are super dark, and whites are equally bright, which all makes for an incredibly immersive gaming experience. This one is very specific in terms of what it will be best for. The TCL 6 series is particularly perfect for the Xbox Series S, thanks to its ability to reach 120 Hz at 1440p resolution. Naturally, the Series S's performance ceiling is 1440p resolution and 120 FPS, which is why this TV is so well suited to it. But of course, if you did want to use it with your Series X, you can also play at 4K 60 FPS. The TV also has a surprisingly short input lag at just 18 milliseconds, even with HDR and 4K enabled. Aside from that, the TV has exceptional contrast between colors, so everything really pops out of the screen. LG's OLED TVs are renowned for their incredible colors and overall picture quality, and that's for good reason. This fairly priced TV in particular has solid picture performance to say the least, with bright and vivid images and superior color contrast. That mixed with HDR makes this TV incredibly stunning. On the higher end of the TV spectrum, it does naturally support 120 FPS at full 4K, which makes it very, very good for the next-gen experience. The only minor downside to this TV is that it can lose contrast slightly when viewed at an angle. This TV sells like crazy, so it may be difficult to get your hands on one. But there is a very good reason for that. This TV is by far the best budget TV money can buy, because at just $800, you can get the 55-inch version, which is a steal if you ask me. Of course, you can go up to 82 inches if you want to max out the budget. This TV, like most Samsung TVs, has QLED technology, so the colors are phenomenal and extremely accurate. HDR and QLED combined makes the TV look gorgeous, especially if you play in full 4K with 120 FPS. This TV takes the top spot as the best TV, and also as one of the most expensive. Models range from 48 inches up to 77 inches. The reason this happens to be the best overall is a collection of incredible picture quality, full 120 FPS support, full 4K, and a snappy input lag of just 14 milliseconds. Firstly though, I'd say this TV has the best picture quality out of all the TVs mentioned, because the colors are so colorful and clear-cut. There's absolutely zero picture washing. Everything stays perfectly sharp and bright, while the blacks remain dark. This TV delivers all the necessary features to support the next-gen consoles, as well as just being a great TV. Anyways, what did you think? What TV would you get? Let me know in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe.